If there's anything that I've learned in the last decade of challenging myself in the mountains, is that this is an environment that really demands preparation and respect, because otherwise accidents happen. I wasn't one of those kids that grew up skiing. I grew up in Tasmania. We had one resort close by that had like 8 runs, no lifts, only toes. Like most of the time it was ice. But I always wanted to do skiing because I felt that that was such a good way for me to combine all these sports together in one perfect activity. And although it's fun to, work on your speed and challenge yourself coming down the mountain, for me there's nothing that even compares to the fulfillment that I get when I climb to the top of something under my own steam and I get that feeling of accomplishment. And I think the only thing that can possibly beat that is to be able to strap on a pair of skis at the end of the day after this huge day of hard work, getting to the top and the sun setting, and be able to put my skis on and like hammer down the mountain in a fraction of the time. I feel like that's the perfect scenario for me. So the next few days are about me learning as much as I can, sharing it with you, and building my skills and my confidence as a skier so that I can go up and climb mountains and ski back down them, because I am not a skier.
¿Estás bien o qué? ¿Te has hecho daño?
Muy bien.
Spent all this time building my best, learning to soar and taking a test. Up ahead I see a peak, and in my heart the beats increase. So finally, and finally.
We had a good ski day today. We climbed up to Pic de la Mina on the skins, and we climbed up 700 meters up to the top of this peak and just kind of sussed out everything that was happening on the other side of us. We did have some rough goals in mind, but we were really playing it by what's happening with the weather. So looking forward to tomorrow and the next few days. And I want to ski in the afternoon, just like on the piste, just to practice my turns and stuff. I'm so happy out here, it's great.
Give me a break, yeah, 'cause I wanna go there.
One thing I realised from spending a few nights sleeping in ski field car parks, especially as we entered this strange little country of Andorra, is the impact that skiing has on the mountain environment. When you start to think about the insane amount of gas and diesel it must require to groom the slopes and keep the lifts running, it's hard not to feel a little bit guilty. I mean, more and more ski areas are relying on snowmaking, which also uses a hell of a lot of water and energy in order to produce. And so I see this as a good a reason as any to choose human-powered skiing over the downhill variety. Having said that, there really is no better way to sharpen the skills, so I'm not calling for a downhill skiing boycott just yet, but it's something that I definitely want to be conscious of as we see global temperatures rise yearly and our winters become a little less fun every year. Good morning. Man, it's nice to wake up in the mountains. We are in Catalan, which is a part of Andorra. Probably one of the biggest ski fields in the Pyrenees and probably one that gets the most action. We're gonna have a ski day on piste today. I just need to get some practice in on piste and get my ski legs back because I haven't really skied much in the last life. It's time to make some coffee, I think. Problem is we don't have a filter, but one of you guys commented about making cowboy coffee, I think on my hiking kitchen kit video. So we're gonna try and make cowboy coffee without anything, just a pot and some coffee. See how that goes.
¿Quieres uno? No te gusta el café.
2 grados aquí.
This is the important point. You have to pour cold water very slowly. Pour the coffee. Fuck. Okay, the verdict. It's good, but it's a little cold. Better than nothing. So it was time for me to silence the part of me that is a woke leftist millennial and just buy a lift ticket. The morning session was pretty cloudy with very crusty snow and bad visibility. But after lunch, the sun came out and it was time for us to experience just how good skiing in Andorra can be. ¿Todo bien? Well done. We've been skiing all day until what, 5 o'clock. It's been a great day. It's been absolutely magic, especially the afternoon. Tomorrow we're going to go climb something and ski down. I feel like my ski skills now have been touched up a little bit, feeling a little more confident on the skis, so I think we could probably climb something tomorrow and ski down it. So on the hope of finding a north-facing couloir with cold enough temperatures, we crossed the border into Spain and into the Catalan Pyrenees. Roger grew up climbing and exploring this area, and he's got an incredible knowledge of the mountains and also far more experience with things like reading the weather and managing avalanche risk. And despite my very average Spanish and our limited ability to communicate, we are beginning to learn each other's strengths and weaknesses and to trust each other, which is the basis for all good climbing partnerships. But when it came to discussing potential route options for tomorrow over dinner, I was pretty happy to leave that decision entirely in his hands. Well, it's not very cold because when it's this warm, you have a lot of problems, especially with falling rocks, unstable snow, avalanche potential. So we don't know what we're going to do. We're just going to see what happens in the next sort of hour or two. So it's probably a little warm to go climbing, but we're going to take the skis and axes and try and find something in the shade that we can climb, because that's what we came out here to do. Pretty loose goals wise, kind of lost in translation as to where we're going. Roger seems to have an idea, but I have none. I think we're going to try and find a corridor that's got some decent sort of frozen ice and snow on it. But as far as what it's called or where it is, your guess is as good as mine. checking out these corridors. It's a little warm, but we're going to be climbing in the shade, so get some practice in and enjoy the day. Let's do it. No coge nada. It's all just really loose snow, so we're just burying the tools and hoping that they stick. Roger is absolutely hating it.
Una puta mierda esto, tío.
Bueno, estamos casi ahí, ¿eh?
Como casi.
So this is, I think, my first time climbing on rock with skis on my back and in ski boots. Really, really strange. But I like it. I dig it. ¿Cómo estás? So as we were topping out and finishing this route, I decided to take the rock, which is a lot safer than going over the snowbank, especially in the afternoon. That's a big avalanche risk. So I'm belaying Roger up and he gets to a spot that's nice and flat, and I decided to take my phone out to take a photo of him. So I take a couple of photos, I put my phone back in my waist pocket, and the next thing I know, my phone is tumbling down the rock past my feet, bouncing back down the route. And I see my phone case come off, I see my Metro cards flying up into the wind, and I'm thinking, great, not only have I smashed my phone, but I'm also a little bug at the same time. You know, I've smashed a phone rock climbing before, and when these things happen, my tendency at least is to be like super irrational, to get down there straight away and to just start looking for the phone. Luckily, Roger was there and he's like, no, just hang on a second, belay me up, I'll lower you down and you can spend as much time as you want looking for the phone. So he lowers me down and I'm looking for like 3 or 4 minutes, I didn't see anything. And then out of the corner of my eye, I see this glimmer that looks like metal, and it's kind of down in like a crack in the snow up against the rock. And it's just wide enough for me to get my hand in. Oh my God. I just dropped this phone that I'm recording this on. It fell down 20 meters and it landed in this tiny crack. Oh my God. I have no words. I'm so lucky. It's not even smashed. My screen is perfect. Thank you, hole. Thank you, glorious slot in the snow. Caught my phone. Look where it fell from. It fell from where the cord is down into this little crack. So as you can probably tell, this phone is pretty important to me. I mean, phones are important to all of us, but I think especially for me at this time, like, I risked a lot to come here to Spain to build this online business and the YouTube channel. And for me, being financially comfortable enough to buy skis, boots, bindings and skins and all the rest of it was a bit of a milestone. So to break a phone on that same day would have been quite ironic and kind of very upsetting. So I'm so grateful that my phone was in like perfect condition. And while I'm at it, I'm also really grateful for you guys for following along to the channel. And if you've been watching for a long time, especially if you've been sharing it with like-minded people, I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you're enjoying these videos. You know, we finished the route, we reached the top of the mountain. Everyone, all the skiers had gone home. We were the last 2 people on the mountain. So Roger and I clipped our skis in and we got one run all to ourselves while the sun was setting in beautiful soft afternoon snow. It was incredible.
To rest my weary soul, to rest my weary soul.
Although me being a noob, I forgot to lock my ski boot into ski mode. It was still in walk mode, so I had a bit of a stack on the way down. So yeah, it's pretty clear that I still have a lot to learn, but I love sharing it with you guys. If you're not on my newsletter, I will be sharing a couple of tips that I picked up specifically to ski mountaineering from this trip. So if you're into ski mountaineering or if you want to get into it, then jump on my newsletter. I send out an email once a month just with things I'm up to, future videos that I'll be working on over the next month, and answering questions from people that email me their questions. So if you want to jump onto that newsletter, you can do it in the link in the description. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the summit.
Somewhere to feel helpless, to rest my weary soul.